There's a very good question from Sydney where her question is about if we can have visual actions that users can interact with in chat. Like if you're creating a bundle, I think you showed some of that where GPTfy came back with relevant questions about which options to select. But I think the question is really if there are too many dependencies and if there's that type of an interaction that the user needs to have in terms of what to configure, can that be done? And I know the answer is yes, but maybe we can show that again in terms of how that type of a user experience works.
So if I go back here to wherever my thing was.
And Sydney, please feel free to correct me if I did not capture your question.
You did. Dependencies are a big one, I think, for everyone when it comes to bundles. It's why we typically build out bundles. Even beyond that, we have a lot of options that are available to reps. And when I think about new hires that are going to interact with this, they may not know everything that's available to them, right? They may not know all the product names to include. So that's why I was looking at these are visual. It gives her an option to say, hey, this is everything that's relevant to you if you want me to include it. And they can click, right? Something like that. We pretty much hit it though.
Yeah, I think Saurabh is going to show some of that, Sydney. And I think we should all be, I think we need to, like, this is something that is also evolving quite a bit very fast. So what we've been able to do is you can see here in Saurabh's example, right? This is a simple case where if there are options, we can throw this back to the user in a certain type of a UX. There is a lot more that can be done in terms of the way we render this type of a user experience and a lot more that we can explore and build. I think we are so early in this journey with AI that we are also learning what all is possible. But the key part that we want to highlight here is two things. One, that with GPTfy, you have the ability to interrogate what is already set up in CPQ. CPQ already says that for this type of a bundle, these are the options, one of which should be required, and therefore ask this user. This we've not hard-coded anywhere. This GPTfy is able to read from the configuration itself and decide that this type of information needs to be collected from the user. How we render it back, you can see one example of that, which is that you can see it in the chat itself. But there could be other UX or user interface experiences that can be built so that that visual feel for how you respond to it, maybe like this kind of a question back and forth. It could be more guided to selling experience. It could be even visual where you are able to see what are the products visually and maybe select something. Not all of that has been built out yet. What we've built so far is this type of a chat experience.
Makes complete sense. I think it's always hard to know where the starting point is going to land and setting the parameters around that, but allowing for the most flexibility possible. But then when we do that, right, you're defining a lot of different scenarios on the back end for the prompt, and that can be definitely overwhelming.
True. I think when you look at products like CPQ, just the sheer complexity of it, it requires more of a framework approach and less of a product approach in my mind, right? You're trying to put together a framework where you have the ability to, it becomes like Lego blocks. We are really trying to make a robust set of Lego blocks that hopefully you can put together and create a helicopter or whatever, but you still have the ability to change things so that they align with your unique requirements.